Okay. Should be good to go now. All right, let me pull up some charts here. Oh, wow. Bitcoin is at 68,000? It was at 66 last I checked. Hello, Sam. Okay. So I haven't been looking at the daily chart much. Seeing some, maybe an encouraging sign here with the 20-day EMA hopefully being held as support. So we'll see. We'll see. Okay, let me... What looks good today? Why Bitcoin not dropping is this bottom? It takes time. Even, it's the bear market. Things, just look at previous charts, Asan. Things take time. Now, am I happy? Am I encouraged that, the stock market's been struggling a decent amount lately, but Bitcoin, crypto is holding up pretty well. That's an encouraging sign. It reminds me of, in April 2025, excuse me, there was a time when Bitcoin, like after that big terrifying tariff fear stuff, there was a time that Bitcoin just kind of started outperforming the stock market. And it was really visible. And I do wonder if something similar could be happening now. So, good morning, Sambo. Good morning, me. Guys, for those watching on YouTube, I am live on TikTok at World War Bitcoin. I'm going to type that out. Okay. The chat on YouTube is members only, but you can chat on TikTok. So Bitcoin will form its lower high today before continuation lower to April. Where are you getting that information from? I'm always open to stuff. I'm just curious. What are your thoughts on stocks going forward? I'm very bullish on stocks. For, let's say at least the next year. I know the stock market can have, maybe it's at a local peak. The Nasdaq looks a little weak right now, but it would just be a local bottom wherever it bottomed out. Buying dips a good idea. I mean, sure. Buying dips in the stock market is always a good idea. I mean, even if you bought the dip too early in 2008, you'd be doing very well right now. It's funny. I rewatched a few episodes of the TV show House of Cards, and I was blown away. In 2013, it showed a NASDAQ ticker, and the NASDAQ was at 20,000. 2,000. Excuse me. It was 2,000 and change. What's the NASDAQ at right now? The NASDAQ has done a 10x. The NASDAQ has done a 10x since 2013. I don't like giving specific instructions. If you have funds on the sideline, I think Marathon, Cypher Mining, Riot Blockchain, I've laid out my case. I think they're going to greatly outperform Bitcoin. So, sure. Wow, Bitcoin pumping. Yeah, this is interesting. Now, okay, the 200-week might be some resistance there, the 200-week EMA, but Blood Moon today. We're supposed to dump on the Blood Moon, aren't we? That's more of a Devin thing than what I pay attention to. What about strategy? So at some point, MicroStrategy is going to be great. I don't know about right now. Maybe. It would make me sad if MicroStrategy bottomed, because it bottomed out at $13 in the bear market of 2022, and then you could have ridden that up to $500 plus. So now it's at 134. It got as low as what, 106? Maybe that's the bottom. I don't know. Thoughts on Hype? Yeah, Hyperliquid I think is going to be a really good one to load up on. As far as when, I don't know. There really isn't enough. There really isn't enough data for me to really give in-depth thoughts. So, which crypto was I talking about? I was just talking about MicroStrategy. Somebody asked about MicroStrategy. Good morning, good afternoon, Ponky. For me, it's morning. Thank you, Fake Coach Ty, for the follow. What do you think about the quantum computing narrative? I don't pay attention to it. I'm not worried about it. I'm not going to be worried about it. It will show up in the charts. If there's ever a fear, it will show up well in advance in the charts. We'll be looking at the price of Bitcoin being like, hey, something's really wrong. 2014, the lower high was March 3rd. Yeah, my perspective is that this bear market is not going to be at all the same as previous bear markets, in the same way that 2025 was not at all the same as previous bull markets. So you want to go by past history. I think past history can inform us in some ways, but at some point it's going to deviate. I have a lot of confidence in that. Hello, CB. Radium. I'm assuming the radium chart looks pretty rough. Let's see here. 59 cents. Yeah, maybe it's bottomed. It's been in the same range for about 4 weeks. I would want to see like 4 months of ranging before making any kind of conclusive decisions. I think still right now, large majority of altcoins are stayaways. Even if assuming my thesis is right, that Bitcoin has maybe a little bit lesser, one more leg down a little bit, that these altcoins would still, and then maybe it starts recovering. These altcoins would range for a bit. So, hello, Jit. Remember those summer days when we were pumping? Sure. I always felt uneasy during that time. I was just like, I was uncomfortable. I was cautiously optimistic. Hello, Matthew. I wanted to go live on my backup account, WWBTC5, but I got a new phone, and for some reason, for the life of me, I cannot figure out how to log in to that specific account. Not at 1,000 viewers, won't sell. Yep. Next time we hit 1,000 viewers, I am ending the live stream that moment, and I am selling all of my crypto. All of it. Except for maybe some Bitcoin. Me too, yep. So guys, this Iran stuff, the way that Bitcoin has held up, it's something to pay attention to. And again, it kind of aligns with just where I think we're going. You know, and it does make me second guess whether or not I've been saying that Bitcoin's going to get to the 200-week moving average, 58,000 and change, maybe wick below that to 55,000. And this was the time. This was the time for that to happen. Blood moon, not that I'm a big astrology guy, but if other people are going to trade based off of it, it's something worth paying attention to. The blood moon, the attack in Iran. Bitcoin over the weekend went down to what, 63 something? And then held. I'm much more open to the possibility that that little tick under $61,000 was the bottom. It's insane to me that we wouldn't at least touch the 200-week moving average for Bitcoin. It's just such a natural place. Other coins still probably going down more. It depends on the coin. I think XRP has bottomed. I think Ethereum, there's a good chance Ethereum has bottomed. I'm less confident about Ethereum. I'm about as confident about Ethereum as I am about Bitcoin, but I think XRP's bottomed. But it depends on the coin. Like a lot of these cryptos, they still have terrible tokenomics, man. Their tokenomics are a disaster, so they're going to go lower. Fake Calvin Hill, thanks for the follow. ETH near the bottom, yeah, I do believe. I mean, ETH under $2,000. Riot down 6% today and Bitcoin bouncing back. Sure, you know, all right, they missed earnings by a lot. It takes time with stocks. I'm still willing to be patient on that one for sure. I do have a Riot Bitcoin chart somewhere on my trading view. Where is that? Here it is. I mean, overall, it still looks bullish. It still looks very bullish. Sylvia, thanks for the follow. You think ETH bottomed around 1750? I don't know how many times I need to repeat myself. It's close. If 1750 wasn't the bottom, I think it's very close to that. And I know that some of what I'm saying might sound foreign to some of you, but you've got to understand my base case since 2022, with a few deviations, it's playing itself out. I was not a bull for 2025. 2025 ended up actually being better than I thought it was going to be. When if you were to ask me in January of 2025 where I thought Bitcoin would be by the end of the year, I would have said much lower than where it was. So then 2026, you know, if 2025 is supposed to be this really bullish year, and it's not, then 2026 being this typical bear market year makes no sense to me. And I'm seeing the same people saying the same things. You know, it's like, oh, 2025, you're going to make life-changing gains, and then they go into 2026, even though 2025 sucked, and they're saying that 2026 is supposed to be the bear market year. It's like, come on, man. When are you going to deviate from that? You should have already deviated from that. And I'm not talking to you, Payday. I'm talking to just people in general. Want to stack some Ondo, should I wait? That's an example of one. I do like Ondo, but their tokenomics, I just can't bring myself to buy it right now. I'd rather wait. I'd wait for some kind of flatlining with Ondo. And it's just all those newer utility cryptos. It's at 25 cents. I would, you know, I'd want to wait for a couple months with Ondo. Kukas, thanks for the follow. Filecoin, I wouldn't touch Filecoin. If you gave me Filecoin, just some free Filecoin, I'd sell it immediately. Just awful tokenomics, just so bad. Sure, you want to bring the average down, that's fine. What do you see happening with Ethereum in the next 12 months? I think it's going to be a decent amount higher. Interesting, just saying why every time you went live with Ski, you would say you're bullish. V, what time frame are you referring to? Because like if you're talking about right now, I'm much more bullish than a large majority of people who are saying like the bear market, typical bear market year. If you're talking about end of 2025 before that October 10th liquidation event, I was bullish, but I was much less. I was cautious. I was less bullish than the masses. And then when Bitcoin lost the 50-week the 50-week SMA, I said there's two lines in the sand. If we cross this line to the upside, I'm a bull. If we cross this line to the downside, I'm a bear. I was abundantly clear about that. And we crossed the line to the downside, I became a bear. But now that we are seeing structurally similar patterns in the charts to what we saw near the bottom, at and near the bottom in 2022, I'm a bull. So it's not every time I went live with Ski, I was bullish. End of 2025. Okay. All right. End of 2025 until that October 10th liquidation event. I mean, I announced on X, I sold a large majority of my crypto on October 17th. XRP will go back to 57 cents. You guys are so confident. You're so confident. I would love to see XRP at 57 cents. I would get down on my knees and pray for XRP to go down to 57 cents. I'm very confident that XRP is bottomed. And you're doing the same thing, risky but wise. You're doing the same thing that everyone else is doing. Oh, it's the bear market year. Yep, because 2025 was such a memorable bull run when all this liquidity was just, oh man, it was all over. Oh, it was just being injected like crazy. I'm being sarcastic. What coins are you confident for 5x in 2027? Oh, in 2027. Okay, if you're talking about between now and 2027, throw a dart at a dartboard. I mean, if you're talking about between now and the end of 2027, I mean, I would even say, I'm not going to say Ethereum. So like, let's exclude the top 20. You want me to name 5? Okay, Ondo, Sui. How about Pepe? HEEHEE for sure. I won't count that as one of them. Dogecoin. I don't know, man. H-bar. There's so many. Fartcoin. I'm just like literally. Litecoin. Litecoin's at a value right now. That's one that I'd be a little hesitant. Litecoin has lost a 7-year trend line of support. It would seem likely to me that this would go back down to its 2018 bottom. Maybe not that low, but in the vicinity, maybe around 30. But we'll see. I may have missed some lives. Got it. Okay. Yeah, not everyone can watch all of my stuff. That would be insane. Aave. Ooh. I'm a little excited looking at Aave right now. Here's the deal. Here's what I'll say about Aave. Aave for the last 5 weeks has been holding a very key level. If it loses that level, Aave will go down, I think, to about $50. But it's been 5 weeks. So if it continues to hold this level, that's a really good sign. When do you think a real recover will happen? I'm not sure what you mean by that, Carlos. I just my mindset has been Q2 bottom for a while, but I'm becoming more and more open to the possibility that we've already bottomed, in at least, let me just say, in the total altcoin market cap or the total crypto market cap. There are a lot of bargains right now. Love to see XRP under $1. I'd love that. Yeah. How you feeling about Solo? I haven't looked at Solo in a long time. Hello, Michelle. Thanks for the follow. Solo. Sologenic. Oh man. No, I don't know, man. The chart just looks like death. It doesn't look like there's a floor in sight. That's a problem. So I can't give you many thoughts on that. Why is XRP not flying up? Yeah. Guys, listen. I have a lot of confidence that XRP has bottomed, but that doesn't mean it's going to fly. What does XRP do in bear markets? It'll chop you to death. It'll bore you like crazy. Other things will pump. XRP will just be flat. This is every bear market. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, when you want to give up, that's when XRP moves. Do you still feel strongly about Solonic, HEEHEE, and Fat Cat doing really well? Yes. End of 2027, yes. Thanks for the follow. Fake blockchain bullhorn. You like WorldCoin? No. Not really. Tokenomics. Chart looks terrible. No. Ondo or Arrow? Yeah, they're both good. I guess I'd say Ondo, but don't hold me to that. You buying altcoins? As of right now, this might change soon. My only altcoins that I'd be willing to buy are Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP, or I should say Ethereum and XRP. All right, best crypto for long-time investment until 2031, Bitcoin. There's very few cryptos that I'd be willing to hold or DCA until 2031. If it's not Bitcoin, it would be Bitcoin Cash or Monero. Will a meme like WIF come back, or are these types of coin past their time? I think there's lots of potential for lower highs, but not for new all-time highs. A lot of these can do multiple X's and get nowhere near their all-time highs. WIF will do X's at some point, but it's still a falling knife. And I wouldn't worry about any of those meme coins, those older ones, until around the time we see Bitcoin at $100,000, because they'll just be flat. Other things will start to recover. Those meme coins will just be flat, and then around the time Bitcoin crosses its all-time high, that's when those coins will start to rip. Oh shoot. Looking to add some SUI to my portfolio. Do you think now is an okay entry? 92.33. It's in a weird spot right now. I could see it going lower. Yeah, I'd wait on SUI. Again, it's the tokenomics. You'll be fine if you buy it and if you were to go in a coma for the next year or so, you'd be fine. Thoughts on Near? Can you look at Abe? I already did. I said it's at a very key level of support. If it loses that, it'd probably go down to like 50. Near's showing a little bit of strength here. It's holding at a level that I was afraid it wasn't going to hold, and that is the previous bear market bottom. So maybe there's some hope with Near. And if so, then this is a really great time to buy Near. Thank you for the follow, Risky But Wise. Predictions for XRP at the end of the year. I mean, like I said, XRP will bore you to death. So it's at $1.38. How about $1.39? Something like that. Solar runs on the XRP ledger networks. Sure, but what are their tokenomics like? That's the question. XDC lost a key level of support. Right up against that. Now it's resistance. I might short XDC if I can. I would target about a 50% drop from here if this isn't a false breakdown. All right, so it seems like Bitcoin's in a new range. Yeah, it does tend to get up to 69 and slow down there. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I would not. I mean, if you were to force me to long or short Bitcoin right now, I'd short it. But like I'm saying, it is encouraging seeing this price action. Do you think the tokenomics for Aave is trash? It's not great. There's far worse offenders than Aave, or sorry, than AVAX. Aave has good tokenomics. Thoughts on Hype? Already mentioned Hype. There's not really much data on the chart that I can look at, but that's one worth buying for the next time around. Do you think Canton will do anything this market cycle? I hadn't heard of Canton until last week for the first time ever, and it's very new. So I don't know anything about it. Thoughts on swing trading XRP or Ethereum? Ethereum, yes. XRP, like I've been saying, XRP will just chop for forever and make you want to pull your hair out. So I would just DCA XRP, and I'm actually in a bit of a swing trade on Ethereum right now. I bought 100 shares of the BlackRock Ethereum ETF, and I'm selling covered calls on it. Good price range to enter Sol. That's tough. I'm sorry. I don't have. You want a DCA Sol right now? It's fine. I don't really have a good entry. I'm curious about Solana, just because like historically there's very little support where it is right now. So I'd be afraid of it having a sudden drop from where it is. All right, guys, please don't ask the same question over and over again. I am able to respond to all the questions. I'm just scrolling down here. How long do you expect this bear market to last? If we haven't bottomed yet, then bottoming early second quarter. Thoughts on VeChain? I like VeChain. It is below its previous bear market bottom. That's a bummer. I have a little bit of it. I'll probably buy more at some point. It's just I don't know where the floor is. It might be the 2020, 2018 bear market bottom, which if that's the case, it could still lose another 50% from here. Good place to DCA Link. I have been of the mindset that I think Link's going down to $5, $5.50. But maybe I'm wrong about that. Let's see. It's not a good place to DCA Link right now. It's just below a level of support that I was hoping it would have held. So no. I mean, in general, again, it's another one. I have a lot of confidence in Chainlink that you'll get your returns. You want to DCA it. You might lose short term, but you'll be all right. Jake, thanks for the follow. Bitcoin last support is 49.1. All right. I don't think we're getting there. I was told Sui could be the next Solana. Thoughts on that? I don't think so. I think Sui can be... I like Sui because people use it. But the extent that they use Sui versus Solana is it's not even in the same ballpark. But I mean, again, any crypto that people use, I'm interested. Or yeah, if they use their platform, their blockchain, I'm interested. That people use Sui, people use Hyperliquid. A lot of people use Solana. People use Tron, BNB. Those are the ones I want to buy. Is U.S. oil a scam coin? I would assume so. Yeah, any Solana coin that claims to be something, anything, it's probably not. You know why TAL is so expensive? What's TAL? I don't know if this is... No, that's not what you're referring to. What is TAL? I don't know what that is. Tal Education Group, probably not. Zcash. Zcash, I would think is going to continue to go down. You know, it had an incredible run. Great. I don't see, I just, it's too difficult to now be like, all right, Zcash is bottomed. Not at its current level. Targets for XRP when it runs, I don't, you know, maybe a 4.236 extension, that's $8 to $9, maybe. What could send Bitcoin to 50K? Lots of people selling. But it doesn't, you know, people are still going to sell Bitcoin. They've sold a lot. I mean, anything can happen. Any meme, lots of memes, but at some point. At some point, not now. Render's showing a base here, maybe, where it is. This might be a good place to get Render. But, I mean, last bear market, Render, here's the thing that I'm looking for, guys. This is why I'm just being patient with a lot of these cryptos. Render, from the day that it bottomed, spent 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29 weeks. Just flat. With little bumps, but 29 weeks. That's what I'm looking for. Is 29 weeks, half a year, more than half a year of these cryptos just being flat. Unless it's Ethereum or Solana, something like that. Am I buying Sol? I get in and out of Sol all the time, but I'm not like stacking it right now. So Render's been flat for like 10 weeks. So get back to me in 19 weeks. Oh, BitTensor. Why is it so expensive? Because there's fewer coins in existence. That's why. It's a very basic thing. You know, this might be BitTensor. Actually, looks like it's at a pretty good value right now. That might be one to add to the list of like, here's if I made a list of 10 cryptos that I had to buy 10 different cryptos, Tau would probably be on that list. Where do you think Bitcoin will bottom? If it hasn't bottomed yet, the 200-week moving average is at $58,500. So maybe a wick below there. Quant's a little bit stronger than some other cryptos. I'm not like crazy about buying Quant right now. It looks like, I mean, if you look at Quant, it's just been in a range, a massive range since June of 2022. So I could see Quant at some point doing what Monero did. Monero ranged for a really long time and then pumped super hard. Is DCA good? DCA is fine. Just don't expect any amazing returns for the next half a year. Good entry for Pendle. I would not say maybe now, but I have a hard time believing now, you know? And if it's not now, I mean, we're talking next level would be 60% lower than where it is right now. You got to remember about Pendle. The Pendle bear market bottom was like 5 cents, maybe 4 cents, something like that. And it's at $1.26. This could potentially just go lower. Another one, Pendle chopped forever. So I'd wait. I would, timing wise, I would say now's not a good time, even if it has bottomed. How's XRP looking? Do you think it will retrace its Fibonacci? No, I think XRP is going to chop. XRP chops, bores you to death for a really long time. Nurse David, thanks for the follow. I'm thought that, Alex, then thought it can't be that simple. I don't even know what you're referring to. Tommy, hello, thanks for the follow. Thoughts on WIF? I wouldn't touch meme coins in 2026. But there will be a time that I'll just spread it out very liberally. Do you envision a future for Gala? No. It seems to be a utilized coin. Does it? Maybe you have information that I don't. Gala, I mean, looking at the chart, Gala looks terrible. All right, between DCAing now or DCAing later, I mean, personally, if you're talking about altcoins, I would prefer to just DCA later, but in larger chunks. All right, thoughts on Pepe, same as any other meme coin. Pepe will come back. I don't know about hitting new all-time highs, but like given where Pepe is right now or where it can get down to, I think there's potential for multiple X's. Thoughts on DCAing into Bitcoin now? Always. Yeah. Thoughts on Aptos? No. I just, listen, any utility crypto created in 2023, 2024, I am highly skeptical of all of those. That there's no floor in sight. Now, one encouraging thing as I'm looking at the weekly chart is that Aptos did have a lot of buy volume last week. So we'll see, but it's just too risky in terms of the risk to reward. There's other cryptos that are better plays, in my opinion. Narratives, Alex, I don't know. Narratives next cycle, maybe AI, sure. Always potential for AI. Meme coins, yes. Projects that make money, they won't be a narrative. They'll just do well. All right, Kit, like every other question is, oh, that's not true. You're asking a lot of questions here. And they're questions that just make me want to light something on fire. Hello, AKM. So let me burn something instead of answering, when's the best time to buy crypto? And I mean no offense. Is DCA a good idea now or later? Is DCA good? Kit, nothing, no hate towards you. I'm just like, dude, I'd rather take a dip, crack the ice of a frozen lake and take a dip in it than keep on answering those kind of questions. What is loan protocol? I don't see a chart for loan protocol. I'm going to have to pass on that. Zero layer thoughts. Are you talking about like the crypto? Layer 0 ZRO. Chart doesn't look too bad. That one might have bottomed. I mean, it's new. It's newer. I don't love analyzing newer cryptos like that. But this one looks pretty good. And it's finding some support at above some moving averages. Thank you, Shiznat. What 10 altcoins would you invest now with 100K? I don't have 10. I have 3. Well, 2 altcoins, Ethereum and XRP. I'd wait on the rest of them. If you were to force me to add a couple more, I'd add Bitcoin Cash to that. and maybe Tron. Have you heard of GRT? Yeah, of course. Another chart that looks really bad. You know? Let's talk about what you've been buying. I don't really have a ton of capital to buy much crypto. I bought, like I said, I bought some of the Ethereum ETF. And I'm selling covered calls on it. That's about the extent of what I've done. I just my monthly expenses are insane, especially like 30% of my monthly expenses is tuition at my kids' school. So I can't really. I'm not, you know, I'm like maybe breaking even in my monthly budget, so I just don't really have much to. I might not even be breaking even. I need to take care of my income first. Thought on Link and Avalanche. Yeah, I've talked about both of those. They're fine. I think Link could potentially go down to 550. Avalanche. Oh man, you know what? Maybe Avalanche has a floor. I mean, looking at the Avalanche chart a few weeks ago, I was like, man, this thing seems like it's just going to lose every level of support that it's ever had, but it's holding a level that if it holds that, then this is a perfect time. But I would expect Avalanche to chop more. What is GRT? It's the graph. It's a crypto. I'm not going to explain the fundamentals of it. You know, there is a real world use case for it. There's been more than 1 billion entries into their database. So cool. I don't know if there's a need for the crypto to exist. What city do I live in? I'd rather not disclose that. All right. Can you take a look at Uniswap? Is that you, Foregone? I'm just kidding. Yeah, maybe same deal. Maybe a lot of these cryptos are actually finding floors. It's just too soon to call. And if so, then Uniswap's at a great price to buy. If not, you're going to lose a decent amount of money short term. Ooh. So I'm just noticing the VIX. Okay, anyway. Hey, thank you, Crypto Senior. Would you rather put your money into crypto, invest in properties? I mean, I have a different answer than I think a lot of other people. I was once a property manager, and, you know, 80% of the tenants were cool. That 20% was just a nightmare. There's one in particular that I just remember. She was terrible. Her name was Barbie. That should have been a clue, you know. So I guess I'd say crypto. XRP, XLM, and Bitcoin. What about it? Those are fine. Thank you for your kind words, Titus. How do you have so many kids and able to enjoy life? It's actually pretty easy. So this past Saturday was the end of the basketball season for my boys, and so it was the tournament. My oldest son had 2 games at 8:30 and 10:30. His team won. They won the tournament. And then my next 2 sons, they were on the same team, and I was their coach. And we went undefeated and beat another undefeated team in the championship. And let me tell you, that was very enjoyable. It's very enjoyable. So I enjoy life with my kids. Do you still support HEEHEE? Yes. There's just nothing I can do right now to prop up the price. But you better believe I have a lot of confidence. I mean, we're talking about HEEHEE doing a 10x to get to a $3 million market cap. Come on. The crypto spent so much time above $3 million that it's a no-brainer. It is a no-brainer. So when the time comes, when it's time for meme coins to pump, I don't even want to tell you guys this because I want to keep buying it cheap. Anyway, would you ever buy gold on blockchain? Nah. I would rather just buy the ETFs. You know, I would hate to buy like PAX G and then see it unpeg from gold or something like that. The ETFs are much more of a sure thing. Since the Bitcoin halving, with the exception of small blips, I've never seen crypto sentiment so low. Oh yeah, this since the Bitcoin halving, it's messed with a lot of people, and I understand. And one thing that I speculated, which seems to be playing itself out, is like if we didn't get that big bull run in 2025, people were going to give up on crypto forever, which is music to my ears. That is, please, crypto's dead. Just believe it, walk away, and then come back when crypto makes this miraculous comeback. That sounds great. Am I safe to pay some debt and get back in a few months from now? Probably. You know, everything that I'm talking about, I would say, I mean, if you're talking about a few months, let's just say the summer isn't what it normally is, which I'm not saying sell in May and go away, but let's say it's just chop. That's probably what the summer is going to be. And if that's the case, I could see things heating up the end of the third quarter of this year or beginning of the fourth quarter, something like that. For altcoins. For Bitcoin, who knows? I don't think Bitcoin's going to bottom in the fourth quarter like everybody else does. So, and for maybe Ethereum, maybe you'll miss out. We'll see. This is what life's about. Good for you. Thank you. Yeah. Does your wife invest in crypto as well? My wife's a stay-at-home mom, so my investment, everything that's mine is hers. That's great. Thank you, Mark. What is ETF? Sorry, I don't get ETFs. Exchange traded funds. You can trade it on the stock market. I'm just gonna have to ask you to Google that. Like, so for a Bitcoin ETF or gold ETF, you buy a share of the ETF. They buy an equivalent amount of Bitcoin or gold or whatever. He to the moon. Icy Wiener. I've noticed comment sections in videos where you ask kind of like, I don't know if you're trying to just get under my skin or something. Will and Dev, I'm sorry I missed your comments here. First coin I ever bought was API 3 for $1.50 in 2023. And now it's 28 cents. Exactly. Yeah, what did API 3 get up to? I'm sure at some point you made some money on that. Unrealized gains. It got up to $9.72, but I'm sure there were people promising you it was going to go to $100. Oh, wait, you bought it in 2023, so it got up to $5. Never mind. Thank you, Nick. How high do you see WTI going? I haven't really done any analysis on the oil stocks to give price predictions. I mean, I have been wondering if I should sell some of my oil stocks, but those plays are much longer term. Like those plays are decades, not decades, like this decade. It's a decade play. So we'll see. The theory, Bitcoin is, hold on, picked up a chunk of SBET. What is SBET? Oh, no, I've heard of SBET, but I'm not. SharpLink. You're talking about a crypto or a stock? Yeah, I don't know. All right, the theory Bitcoin is the new gold seems to be put to rest with this performance in dire unrest like now. I mean, if you're talking about it being the new gold, that kind of a statement would always make me uncomfortable. Nothing's ever going to be the new gold. And nothing's ever going to be the new gold. Gold will always be gold. Gold will always be valuable. Now, if you're talking about it as a potential alternative to gold in some ways, that's where I can get on the same page. Because try to transfer $1 billion of gold somewhere around the world. How much of a nightmare would that be? With, you know, gold is heavy, there's that, but there's also security issues. You know, try transferring $1 billion of Bitcoin around the world. You could do it in a few clicks, or if you want to personally move it with you somewhere, it's very simple. MSTR buy, not sure. Maybe. I'm sad if MSTR has bottomed, because I was hoping it would go lower. What do you think of these signal groups? What signal groups are you talking about? I don't know. Stock beta plated Ethereum. Okay. SBET. I mean, whatever this is, it's super flat. Volume has picked up a lot. It picked up a lot in 2025. So maybe there's some potential on that. If so, it's at a very good value. We'll see. How high do you think Chainlink will be in 5 years? All right, it's at 9 something right now. So there'll probably be a bull run, probably be a bear market. 2031, I don't know. It's too far out. So how about I just say $9? Or how about I'll say $15? Oh, paid groups for offers signals for buying and selling. What are they buying and selling? Are they buying and selling, you know, $5,000 market cap meme coins? Or are they offering alpha? It just depends. I don't know. Oh, meme coins? Oh yeah, no. Paid groups? No. What is alpha? Just alpha is like, are they providing like good information? With the Iran attack, do you think this was the catalyst for the Bitcoin bottom? My last video on this channel, my most recent video on my TikTok channel, was a video where I was talking about that potentially being a catalyst for Bitcoin to go down to the 200-week moving average. And it seemed like the stars were aligned this past weekend, and then in that moment of peak fear, Bitcoin went down to 63,000. That was quite a surprise for me. So that seems to be, in my opinion, you know, I don't know what's going to drive us to the 50s anytime soon. Bitcoin's held up very well. Thank you, Fake Calvin Hill, for the follow. All right, guys. It's about time for me to be done. I have to have lunch, and I have to do some things today. So have a good one, everybody. I will see you next time I see you. All right, I'm reading the rest of the comments. Thank you, guys. Yeah, it could definitely be a bottom. Holding crypto, but focus switch to silver and copper. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I have some copper. All right.